everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Let's talk about YouTube, and let's talk about censorship. We need to come up with a different model of doing this. Oftentimes, many of the guys who do news and information, regardless of their political leanings, I don't particularly care about their political leanings, they thought that ultimately YouTube will provide them a platform where they can get information out, get out stories, get out narratives, give their opinion, and get that to the public. Mainly as an alternative to the weird narrative, self-serving narrative, profit-driven narrative of mainstream media. Now, in doing this, they believed that they were separate and distinct in that sense, meaning that they had a platform that they could say whatever they wanted. What they didn't realize was that if that platform was still governed by the same corporate sponsors that essentially sponsor the regular corporate media, then you are tethered in some way. You're not separate and distinct. In doing so, the demonetization to all of these videos, any conversation about Syria, whether you're talking about Cal losing 90% of his revenue, that's an amazing thing. That's an amazing thing. And while it's true that Cal can still put those videos up, certainly there is an immense headwind of putting out content that he knows is not going to generate the revenue he needs to live and he needs to support his show. In a real way, the problem is YouTube is still getting eyes and viewership for videos that they demonetize. Meaning that even though somebody's putting out a video, whether or not YouTube is putting an advertisement on it, whether or not that person gets paid for it, YouTube still is getting support because those people are coming to see that video that's been demonetized. Essentially, that person ends up working for free. The point I'm making is we need a different model. We need some other way. One idea I was thinking about that I don't quite know how to implement would be for a YouTube type site. But instead of having free subscriptions, everybody pays like $1 for a subscriber. And of course, you can have different deals with that. So one subscription is $1, 2 is $2, 5 is $3. However you want to do it. That way the number or the amount of money that a person gets is based purely upon the subscriptions. The way those people are paid is based purely on subscriptions. It is a meritocracy at that point. A literal and clear meritocracy. You can still have advertisers, but that in no way adversely affects the people who are on your particular site. It in no way changes the content of what they're saying and the severity of what they're saying based upon whether or not they're going to get paid for saying it. Currently, this model doesn't work. You have a situation where countries are literally fomenting a war. Literally. We're talking about people dying on a massive scale. We're talking about nuclear annihilation. YouTube takes a stance and says, well, wait a minute. We're uncomfortable with that conversation. Our advertisers don't like us talking about war. Because they don't like talking about war, regardless of how serious it is. Regardless of the severity of this. Regardless of the number of people that could die. Regardless of the illegality of the behavior that our government is engaged in. Those things are irrelevant. What matters is that we need to demonetize that video because our advertisers don't like it. Certainly, this is a crazy methodology. This is a crazy methodology, and it makes no sense. The severity demands importance. And yet, that's the one thing that doesn't matter. The importance of the situation. We need a different model. That's all I'm saying. We need a different model. This doesn't work. If you're going to run into situations where the person who you're listening to, the content creator, the person who you're to some degree trusting to apply their lens to the world honestly and fairly and without intrusion in that sense, meaning nothing to corrupt that particular lens. Well, certainly if they're not getting paid for what they're doing, that's going to corrupt that lens, particularly if their lifestyle, meaning just their living, is based on that content. So someone like Cal from Secular Talk, I remember even Hard Bastard mention this, having a conversation about this, showing how his videos were being demonetized. Even my videos on Syria are going to be demonetized. That in no way stops me from making those videos, because the importance of it matters more. But at the same token, my livelihood, look, at some point, I want to switch over into doing this full time. I do have certain plans and aspirations for this particular channel that eventually I would like to evolve into either writing or evolve into political action. My feeling from the beginning was, if I can be honest, if I can function with a level of integrity, if I can apply my lens and analysis, if I can show people exactly what I'm thinking, how I get to a particular point, they can interrogate what I'm saying, they can interrogate my previous work, making a determination of whether or not I'm being honest with them. Honest to the degree that I can be honest. Whether I'm being fair. Fair to the degree that I can be fair. And they can make their own judgments. My feeling was, I would be able to bring over people who would typically, reflexively, be against me because of what I want to accomplish. I'm further to the left than most. I don't get there because it's just randomly moving to the left. I get there because I say, what is a solution to this problem? Whatever the problem is. That's how I arrive there. It's not purely political. It's, I'm identifying a problem. I would like to fix that problem. Not everybody gets to that point that way. Many of these people, for the most part, are in boxes. They grew up a particular way. They're told a particular thing. They parrot a particular line. It's not free will. At least not in the sense that the way people talk about it. If you've been primed or conditioned for a particular topic, well, your decisions is based upon the way you were primed, not necessarily just because you came out with that decision. The point I'm getting at is, the goal was to bring those people over. To get those people to say, well, wait a minute, this guy's actually saying something that makes sense to me. He makes sense. And to marshal that into something that's more significant that could potentially change this country. That's grandiose. So what? That's the goal. Part of that goal is dependent upon this idea of being able to transition into this full time and to devote my energies to it. If at any particular moment YouTube can say, we don't like the content of what you're saying, no, what you're saying is not racist, no, what you're saying is not factually incorrect, what you're saying is not wrong or unfair, everything that you're saying is true, but we don't want to monetize these videos because even though people are putting their eyes on it, even though people are interested in it, even though people are coming to our site, giving us market share because of your particular video, we're still not going to pay you for it because our advertisers don't particularly like it. That's a problem. That's a problem. That model is not sustainable, and that model is always going to be held at the behest of who's paying them, their supporters. Not the people who are viewing them, not the people who are applauding and who believes what these people are saying, but the people who are supporting them, who's paying them. It's not because they want it that way. None of these guys that you're seeing on YouTube wants it that way. It's just the way it's panning out. This particular event with YouTube, more than anything else, makes that clear, that the model that we're using to do this, to persist ourselves, is faulty. It's faulty. And it depends on profit. And if it depends on profit, that model is always going to have quirks in it that's going to adversely affect the content that's coming out. Look, man, yeah, that's a problem. The more I think about it, it's a problem. We need to come up with something different. And I'm not saying we need to come up with something different because it's something that can be done overnight. I'm also putting it out just into the public consciousness of, yeah, this is a problem. When you have massive situations like this that are arising or coming over the horizon, and the media, and when I'm saying media, I just mean the advertisers, YouTube itself, corporate America, looks at it and says, we're uncomfortable with you talking about something that's going to kill a lot of people. Maybe we should be talking about something that's going to kill a lot of people, not demonetizing the videos, not trying to silence those people or creating an incentive for them to shut the hell up. That shouldn't be the goal, but that is the goal of YouTube, and that is the way it functions. Look, whoever your content creators are, support your content creators. Many of these guys are creating Patreon accounts and everything else. Support your creators. Do not allow them to be stuck under this particular model where they're constrained by what they can say. My lifestyle isn't based off of what I get on YouTube, but a lot of these guys are. I mean, whether it's Door, whether it's Cal, these are pretty decent guys. Whether I agree with them all the time or not is besides the point. They work hard at their content. They work hard at what they do. They've been doing this for years. And in doing this for years, they're putting out a product that is putting asses in seats. They should be compensated for putting those asses in those seats. So yeah, let's come up with something different. Let's come up with something different. In the meantime, support your creators. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to write, comment, and of course, Patreon. I don't say this more so for me. I say this because I have to be honest, I was greatly bothered by them gutting these guys like this. I've watched these guys for years. And I'm not necessarily fans with all of them. And yes, some of these guys have different political leanings. I don't care. I don't give a shit about the politics. What I care about is I don't particularly like the platform trying to censor important issues based purely off of some kind of financial consensus or some kind of financial motive. That is a problem. That's a problem. And if everybody who's going to be on YouTube is going to be held at the behest of some kind of monetary incentive, that's corrupting incentive. Certainly we can see it's corrupting in mainstream media. And certainly the way they demonetize videos that deal with any subject that's uncomfortable to them, regardless of the truth of it, regardless of the honesty, regardless of the fairness, they still demonetize those videos. That is a problem that needs to be resolved. So, alright guys, have a good one. And again, keep an eye on your government. I am not talking about the Syria thing per se here, but keep an eye on your government. If YouTube wants to demonetize these videos, fair enough. That should not stop you from keeping an eye on your government. Thanks, guys.